How's it going, everybody? Jody in here, and I'm back inside Stormworks with a little bit of a showcase video. Today we're going to showcase some trains. We're going to get some trains loving. I know I've been working on some other stuff lately, but I figured the trains need a little bit of loving, so I spent some time working on them today, and I'm gonna do a little bit of a showcase of what I've worked on. Some of these you may have seen before in some of my videos. Some of them might be new to you. Some of them might be modified from what I've shown in earlier videos. So without further ado, let's hop into number 2 here and get to showing you what I got to show you. Now, I should make a note that all of these vehicles are now available on my workshop. I consider them quote-unquote perfected. There may still be a little bit of bugs here and there, but they're good enough for me to actually workshop them. So I decided to workshop them. So any of the vehicles you see here are more than likely found on the workshop. If they're not, I will let you know. I'm going to start off with my simplest and cutest little one. That is this guy right here. This is my hand trolley, which I was playing one day and I said, you know what, it would be really great to have a train that does not require an engine. So I decided to come up with this little guy. This is the train collie. This is hand crank driven. It also does have a motor built in. The motor is a small motor, and then it runs off the very limited battery power that is in this thing. So if you really need a motor, you just flip the switch and away you go. It automatically runs the motor at full. But as you can see, the battery will not last long with the motor turned on. So we have our brakes, which can engage or disengage. But this thing is actually meant to be driven by this handle here. So we get this cranking, spin it up, and you can see as I'm cranking, which you can, as long as you keep that key held down, you can go to an exterior view and not worry about it. So as long as I keep that wheel cranking, we move forward. I flip this little switch here and get cranking again, and you'll see I will stop and go in reverse. Crank and crank and crank. There you go. She's now going in reverse. Now, the top speed of this thing isn't very fast. It's only about 4 knots. I think it's knots anyways. Whatever the speed reading is. It gets up to about 4 downhill. So it's not very fast. But you know what? If you just got to move some cars around, or do a quick, here to there, and you don't really want, or you can't really afford to spawn in one of the big engines, this guy does the work. And I've used it in a single player, along with my car carrier, my container carrier, which I'm now going to load in. So we are going to hop back in here, and let's load that one up as our second showcase. This guy right here. So this is my container carrier. It is, as I said, also available on the workshop. I got most of the bugs worked out of it. There's always going to be some bugs in all of these. There's always going to be some bugs that you're going to run into. But for the most part, everything works. So I'm just going to crank. Oh, break off. I'm trying to crank with trying to crank it with the brakes on. Alright, so we'll back her up. And I'll just show you this here. We'll back her up, and I'll let go. And we're going to see she's going to get right up close and grab. Okay. Let's put her in forward. Brakes off. And crank her. And you'll see she'll start moving. Now, like I said, this is manpower pulling a big train. So you're not going to break any speed records. Guaranteed you're not going to break any speed records. But right now I'm using no power. So no battery power, no nothing. Well, I shouldn't say that because there's I have little lights and stuff that are on. and switches that are on. But the battery power is absolutely minimal right now. I'm not driving a big electric motor. Uh, so the solar panels can actually keep up with the battery usage. So we'll just pull this guy out here. And as soon as he's clear, we will put our brake on and secure it. Okay. So now this guy here is designed for loading and unloading of containers. Those containers way over there. Now the problem is, it's over here, and the containers are over there. And containers are not always in the spots where you need them for loading. So what I've done is I've actually designed this guy so it can self-load. And that trust me, it's not as impressive as it sounds. So we'll bring this slider out because we'll load onto this. We'll load a container onto here. I'm going to grab any container out there, not really worry about what container I'm going to use. So this is my I had a name for it. I forget what I called it. I really forget what I called that. I had a name for this. On the workshop, it's got a name. I don't know whether I called it a splicer or slider or something like that. Anyway, so we're going to winch out, and we're basically going to go grab one of these containers. And we can do that because we got 100 foot of friggin' cable here. We can just run out here, and I'm not worried if that goes underground. It probably will glitch itself underground. So we're going to run out here. We're going to grab a container, and I'm waiting for it to glitch underground because it usually does. Oh, there it's glitchy. Oh, there. Yeah, it's underground now. I don't really have to worry about glitching underground because it'll come back out. Whoop, see? There it is. It'll glitch underground, it'll pop back out. It does this. Well, we're walking over here. We're going, I don't like this container, don't like that container. Yeah, you know what? What about this one? Where is this one going? This one's going to year-round freight. Okay, let's attach a rope to it. Let's attach our rope to it, and we're gonna load that one up. Now look at the distance we got here. I can go over 100 meters away to get a container. I think it's about 140 actually. I think the winch gives you 100, and then the rope that I used on the winch gives you another 40. It's still going out, by the way. So we're going to stop it from going out. We're going to pull it in. So we got that green container over there hooked up. And now we just have to wait. Our cable will pop out from under the ground here. Or I should say our connector will eventually pop out from under the ground here. Once the slack is all picked up, you're going to see that shortly. Oh, there it is. There it is, way over there. And you're going to see the container start to move. And she's going to start coming. And we might have to adjust the connection or whatever. We're just going to bomb everything right out of the way. We might have to adjust the connection or whatever. If we get hung up on the light post, we'll just move it over to that side or hook it up to the back one and pull it around, or depends on whether we get stuck. Are we stuck? We're stuck on the light post. That's fine. I was kind of expecting that. That's why I mentioned it. Alright, let's let the cable back out. Oh, wait, we popped loose. We did pop loose. Alright, let's winch her in. Keep her coming. So we did pop around it. We are going to get stuck on probably the ridge here, and that usually ends up flipping the container. Okay, so this is the point where our splicer is now at its limit, so we can't winch in any further, but we're still too far out. So what we do is we'll play it out a little bit, just to let our splicer down to the ground a little bit of release there. Now I've learned from experience to do this. I grab the rope from here, I actually move it to the back. And that'll give me a little bit more pull before I do a straight pull. Because if I don't do that, that front corner might not be within reach. So we'll winch in again. You'll see the container pull a little bit. Okay, there we go. Alright, release that. And we're going to pop this off. We're going to put that cable back. Just like that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to detach the rope from the other side of our little doodad. We'll just let it sit on the ground. We're going to take this rope out. We're going to hook it up. This should be within range. There we go. So now we're going to pull the container in the rest of the way. And like I said, it might get hooked up on the ridge there. You can see there's a little ridge on the edge of the tracks. It might get hooked up on that. It might flip the container over. Yeah, there it goes. Nothing to worry about. We are professionals. Those brakes aren't holding very well. Those brakes are definitely not holding very well. Here we go. I did not guarantee this is not going to damage shit. Anyway, so here we are. We are now back. This needs to get hooked back up to here. And we can actually put that away now. So I will just winch it in. Because we're done with it now. Okay. Whoops. Did not mean to do that. Grab the handle and bring it out here. And go winch in. Oh, it pulled it right out of my hand. I didn't want to pull it out of my hands. I want to bring it out here. And then winch in. There we go. There we go. That's flipped up. Okay. Perfect. So now, what we want to do is we want to get a couple of ropes from the front here. You notice I got tons of rope. And we have some winches. You can see them up there. We're going to attach to that. And we're going to attach to our top winch on the outside. We're going to do the same thing on the back. So we're going to grab another rope into the back. Winch. And we're going to winch to the bottom. The reason we're winching to the bottom is because we got to flip this thing back over. Because that's our top. This side right here is our top side. So we need to flip her back over. So now we're gonna winch up on those guys. And you're gonna see our container will roll over. Back upright. Eventually. I hope. It should bring the sides in, then it should start flipping it. There she goes. She's starting to roll. Come on. Come on, roll. There you go. There you go. There you go. There she's rolling. There she's rolling. Come on, keep her rolling. Like I said, I do not guarantee against damage. Alright. Let's try to put her down. See if she'll just... There we go. That's exactly what I wanted it to do. Okay. And down and down. Let her down. Boom. Perfect. Okay. Now we're going to winch up again. Because we've got to kind of tug it a little bit into the proper position. You notice the car is going to move forward a little bit. Either the car is going to move forward or the box is going to move back, one or the other, as it pulls itself into position. There we go. Alright. Down a little bit. Okay, so let's turn our connectors on. Let's lower our bar down. Hopefully, that'll be close enough to grab. There we go! Snag! Alright, let's take that rope off. We'll put it away. And we'll take this back rope off. We'll put it away. So this is much nicer if you actually have a loading truck, like something to bring it over and you know, put the container here and whatever. But this is just in case you don't. The thing is fully self-sufficient. You can actually load it yourself. So you drag the containers over, however you got to drag them over, and we will bring that container in. Oh, 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 oh! I forgot to step. Turn those on. Now we can bring the container in. Got to turn the bottom magnets on. The reason for that is because this is a very secure cargo container. You turn the bed magnets on. Boom! She is now locked in. We can turn off the bar raising because the bar doesn't have to stay elevated. But there you go. Our container is on. It's secure and ready to roll down the line. So yeah, easy as that. Now I'm gonna actually undo that because we're gonna check out another train car here, and I'm not gonna just keep adding train cars. So, oh, we got a little bit stuck. See what I mean? There is an imperfection here, and the reason there's an imperfection is because I'm an idiot and I didn't put on to raise up the bar again. So the bottom here got stuck. If the bar was up, that wouldn't happen. So there are still ways you can screw yourself by not moving things around properly. All right, so we'll lower that down, turn the connectors off, and send her back up. And once it's up, we'll send her in, just like so. All right, there you go, loaded and offloaded. So we will let's return this guy to the workshop. Okay, and then we'll return the other guy to the workshop. We'll take a look at our next vehicle. Well, now that we got a cargo container here in the way, that probably should have been the last one I did. All right, so our next little showcase is going to be my medical train car, which I don't know if I've showed this off yet or not. This is the car that's specifically for medical purposes. It has a battery system up front. Same connectors. I'm calling these J knuckles, by the way. Jodian knuckles, J knuckles. Get it? So any train I have on the workshop, if it's marked with J knuckle, they're all compatible. They will all hook up, they will all connect, and they're all compatible. If it's not marked with J knuckle, then it uses another knuckle system, probably one of my earlier systems. So they are not compatible. They will not connect. At least as far as I know, they're not tested to connect to each other. So that's a thing. But yeah, this is the medical car. It does have a connector on the rear, even though it is kind of set up to be a caboose with the red lights on the back and everything. So we open the door. We have a nice little waiting room, 4-seat waiting room. We have an office here with, you know, person could sit. We got a couple of quick medical kits here. I don't know why I'm stuck in the wall, but that's apparently a thing. I had no idea how I got stuck in the wall there. We can open up here. We have more medical kits, a couple of defibrillators, and 2 medical beds. So this is kind of like the surgery room, I guess, the OR. And that's it. That's the medical car. So straight up medical car. It can transport. It technically can transport 5 plus 2 in the beds. 2 injured and 5 non. But there you go. That's the medical car. Straight up forward. No nonsense. Like I said, it's got a battery system in the front. It's got a rather large array of solar panels on the roof to keep the power going, as you can see. And yeah, so that's the medical car. Next, I've got the fire car. This is quite simply just a fire engine, basically, on the rails. It doesn't drive itself. It has to be towed. It's got the connectors on the knuckles on the front and the back, but it is a full service fire dispatch station kind of thing. Anyway, let's bring her in. I'll show you. So this is the firefighting machine, and man, I'm getting a little bit of lag here. It's got winches on the front. This is actually a vacuum system on the front that you can use. You can put it in. Really? You can lower this into the water and pump up water, so you can just refill off of any lake. It has the winch in, winch out, water on and off, and it's got the water storage capacity. At the back, and you know what? Let's push this out. Pretty much all of my trailer cars have a manual brake release on them like this, because the brake is automatically engaged until it is connected at the front knuckle. Most of my train cars require a connection at the front knuckle for the brake to release, but I do have a manual release just so you can override that. There, you see the brakes went on. Okay, so at the back here I have the same thing. This is on both sides. This exists on both sides. There's a hose, should say a winch with a hose connector. The hose is right here. So you know, say we got a fire over there. You just take your hose, connector up, just like so. You're ready to go. Turn on the water, winch out, start running. And the hose will follow you. You got 100 yards there, 100 feet, 100 meters, whatever the hell it is, 100 something. And you just run out here. Your pump is on. Your hose is primed. You're ready to go. You just run out as far as you want. Like, look at how far I am from that thing. You just keep running, keep running, keep running. Once you're out here, you just, bam, put the fire out. Ah! And you can see the pressure on the hose is ridiculous. It's like it's just, I could probably move the crates with this thing. It's absolute insanity how much pressure this hose has. You know, you can hit targets way off. So even with the limitation of distance, so that I mean, I got 100 meters. I could keep going. I could probably hit the water edge with this friggin' hose. But anyways, you can run out, you can run back, you can put fires out, whatever, whether it's in the bush or not, doesn't matter. Just get the hose going, get it aimed, put the fire out. I can hit those trees from here. So anyway, this is the fire car. Like I said, it's made for putting out forest fires if you run across them. And that winch is still going out. Alright, so we'll turn it off. You can see I went through quite a bit of water so far. I'm down to 88. So it doesn't hold a stupid amount of water. Especially if you got both hoses going. You'll run out fairly quickly. Watch it go, look at it go down. If I had both hoses running, it'd be going down twice as fast. But really, I mean, you got a hell of a firefighting capability here. So yeah. Then all you do is you get it, winch it in. Hose cable is going to be underground, or the connector, I should say, is going to be underground because they always glitch underground. So, oop, oop, yep. Hose in this game leaves a lot to be desired. It just kind of glitches through everything. But that's fine. I still got pressure. Oh, now we're out of pressure. Where the hell's the connector? It's got to be there somewhere. I'm waiting for it to pop up. Because, I mean, I think I got like 40 meters of cable without even putting that out. I'm pretty sure, anyway. 40 meters of hose? I think that's how much hose you get. And then plus, I think that holds 100. So I got 140. Take its sweet-ass time coming back, though. Well, I think we're getting there. We gotta be getting there. Doesn't look like there's much sling between, there it is. There it is. We're almost there. Pulling it in. Look at that. There it is. Yay! Hose retracted. Okay, so now we could disconnect it by disconnecting it, but if you just roll down and then back up, it disconnects by itself, and then you just store your hose. Not everybody knows that. And we're just gonna do that. So that's the fire car. It's actually a nice addition to our system. And like I said, you can refill it from the fluid port on the front. Tested and working. And yeah, another one that's available on the workshop. Finally, the very last one. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 that are on the workshop. So number 5 that I put on the workshop today as part of this group is a brand new 100% functional diesel locomotive that I basically built last night. So this is my first time doing a true diesel electric motor, or true diesel electric train engine, I should say. I've done a nuclear, I've done a steam, I've done a diesel semi-electric, where the train was completely filled with batteries and the diesel engine only kicked on when it needed charged. So it was more of a hybrid than a true diesel electric. This guy is an actual diesel electric. The diesel engine runs all the time, pumping power in to the battery, and it's set up so that it should be able to run at full bore. You should be able to go full throttle and maintain battery power with the engine running all the time. If you don't have the engine running all the time, you will run out of power fast because there's only 2 batteries in it, I believe. I'm pretty sure I just put yeah, I got 2 batteries in it, and that's it. So it's not a huge battery bank. You can see the engine here. I have a large 4-cylinder flywheel on the back, clutch into a series of generators, and the generators are connected directly up to the battery bank. So it is a true diesel electric, in that it does require the diesel engine to be running to have the electricity to keep it running. So I also have a couple other things in this. You can see all the controllers up front that are buried under the floor. I really like this design because it has the raised cabin. You can see the engine is down on the floor down here, and then it raises up to the floor of the cab. So with that raised cab, I was able to put in a bunch of controllers and stuff under the floor, which I found great. It was a good space to have for that. And I also have my main engine controllers over here, for the generator system. And yeah, so without further ado, I should also mention that this has a master-slave mode built into it. That took some work. That took quite a bit of effort. I did make a controller for that, a master-slave train controller. So it gets its controls from the front knuckle to here, and then it outputs these. It outputs them from there. And there's my wheel slip controllers. Okay, for front and rear wheel slip. That is my push-button reverser, which I use on all my trains because I don't want to have a throttle that goes forward and reverse. I just want a throttle that goes forward, but I want to be able to kick it into reverse, and that's how you do it. And then up front here, these are probably composites. Yes, those are my little composites. 2-button composite IOs on, just from reading composites and outputting composites. And I should have probably the same things under here: composites to trigger to composites, because I have a lot of controls on my dash here that use composite. This guy uses composite. This guy uses composites. This guy uses composites. So I really needed to have different ways of reading the composites and different ways of writing the composites. And then over here, this guy is also a composite, so had to have them. And then my 2-number averager, which is averaging this battery bank here as well as this battery back here. This battery back here's sole purpose is for the engine, running the engine. These 2 batteries are for running the train. This battery here is for running the engine. And pumps and all that associated with the engine. So like the fuel pumps, the water pumps, those kind of things for the engine. That's what this little battery's for. The little battery gets charged off these big batteries, but the little battery is isolated so it cannot discharge. It can't be discharged by the motors of the train or any of the train systems. So, without further ado, I was talking about the master-slave system. So the master-slave system works by basically overriding the controls from the conductor. So the conductor will sit here controlling the train. If you switch it to slave mode, what happens is it gets its control inputs from the front here, from this bottom pin, and it uses those instead of using the console. So when it's in slave mode, the console doesn't work. It gets everything from the pin down here. And whether it's in slave mode or master mode, it'll send all the controls out through the bottom pin on the bottom here. So if it's in master mode, whatever the controls are here, they'll be set out. If it's in slave mode, it takes the control from here, uses it, and then sends it out the back. So you can have a bunch of these trains all in a row. The front one is the only one that actually needs a pilot or a conductor in it. The cars behind it, so if you have like 3 of these engines in a row, you'll have the front one set to master, the next 2 set to slave, but all of them will function as a pulling force. So if you want to get your train up to speed, if you want to get it moving, if you need more power generation for some reason, you got like 15, 16 cars on the back and they all sucking the battery down, then you add more diesel generators to it. You add more of the diesel trains to it. And like I just said, they work like diesel engines. They provide power. They have generators built in. So let's spawn it in and I'll show you. So here we are. This is it. I tried to get a realistic train shape for it, but I'm really not good at that kind of stuff. So I got as decent as I could. This down here is the fuel tank. It's the whole fuel tank. Nothing but the fuel tank. I do have both fuel nozzles. I have a hose anchor as well as the old connector. I have the release for the old connector. And I have a fuel level display that does percentage. So that's not 98 liters or whatever. That is 98% full. I don't know why it's 98% instead of 100%, but whatever. It is what it is. Now I could go in the front or the back. They both go to the same place. I just want to show you that in the back here or in the front here you have some stairs that go up into the cab, kind of like the real trains. And then at the back, you have stairs that go up as well. And the railings up the side. Now, I want to maybe put some doors in here eventually, like maybe a couple of sliding doors, just so you can access the engine room, because right now you can't. Right now the cab is the only accessible place. I haven't completely painted the front yet, although I don't know if I'm gonna paint any more than I've already painted. I might like paint the seat and whatever. So anyway, up front here, you have and I should probably put some equipment or something in here instead of wasting this space. But anyway, up here you have the staircase out the front. You have a temperature gauge, which is tracking temperature and automatically controlling the heater. So if it gets too cold in here, the heater will automatically kick on. We have a medical bed that stores against the wall. When needed, you press the button and up she comes. You can put a patient in it. Otherwise, you can just leave her stored against the wall. Over here is we have 2 seats for passengers. And we have our engine control. Engine generator, I should say. So we're going to start up our engine. You can see we got our battery level, we have our fuel level, engine RPS, and our generator output. So once our engine kicks up here, which should not take too long. There we go. So she's going to kick. She's going to up around 40 something. This is actually the ideal time to click the generator on, because the engine is automatically set to balance down to 15 RPS. So by activating the generator while she's still up, it will bring itself down. But if you have it at 15 RPS already, like if it's already balanced itself at 15 RPS and then you kick the generator on, it'll bog down. I don't think it'll stall, but it'll definitely bog down. And you see our generator output's going to come down to probably around 1,000, I think. So it'll stay around 15. You'll see it just bounce a little bit around 15. And our generator output is going to hold around 1800. Our battery level, you can see it going up. This takes into account not only the main batteries, but also you can see the main batteries, the bottom line there where it says electric. So the main batteries are already charged. The value at the top is the average between the main batteries and that little battery that runs the motors. The little battery that runs the motor will have discharged quite a bit starting the motor, so right now it is charging up. But you can see our train batteries, which is that electric on the bottom, it's full. So once both of these hit full, that means the battery for the little battery for our engine is recharged, as well as our main batteries are charged. Once that bat level hits, full. So our fuel display, you can see, uses very, very little fuel to keep this thing running. And all of this is adjustable, so if I find that it's not maintaining power at 15 RPS, I can actually increase it to whatever. There's a constant number sitting right beside the engine that I can go and adjust in the workshop, not live like this. Okay, so up in the passenger seat here, got all of our controls. I have a camera for viewing the back knuckle. That right there is the back knuckle. So I have a camera for viewing the back knuckle for when I'm reversing. I have a toggle for the track switches. I have a fuel display as well as a battery display. So you can see the battery display is now at 1. It's now fully charged. I have front and rear knuckle controls, so I can release the front, I can release the rear. These indicators show if something is actually connected to them. I have the speed indicator, I have the brakes, I have the throttle, and I have the reverse gear. And then of course over here I have the slave. So I can flip it up and we're now in slave mode, which means the throttle will not work up here. I can raise it as fast as as high as I want, as low as I want. The throttle will not engage because we are currently in slave mode, so it's getting all of its commands from the front knuckle. If I take it out of slave mode, then I start to give it throttle, and you can see we'll start moving. So let me display that. I'm going to throttle, okay, brake. So I'll put the brakes on, and I'll show slave mode in operation. I'm just going to leave this guy running. And we'll spawn in another one. I'll get it started, and I'll set it to slave mode. Alright, so let's load in. Second one. We want to, of course, fire it up just like the first one. Oh, lag. Save game lag. Okay, so we want to fire it up just like the first one, and we're going to connect it up. So let's get it started. Let's get this party started. There she goes. At full burn, we make about 10,000 for our generator output. We don't want to be full burn though, because that goes through gas like crazy. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go a little bit ahead. Just nice and slow to connect up. Nice and slow, just ease it on. A little bit of brake. A little bit of brake. Should get a connection here. Come on. Yeah, we're practically on top of it by now. There we go. Okay. So you can see we're connected. You can see we have a front connect indicator. Okay. I'm going to go double check our connection, make sure it's solid. It should be because we have an indicator, but you never know. So let's check our connection, and yep, it sure is. We sure do have a solid connection. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this guy in slave mode. So we'll hop in the seat here, we'll throw him into slave. Now this train is now getting its commands from the front train. So the front train, I tell it to go, this back train is also going to go. And I can show you that by coming down here and showing you that the brakes are on. See, the brakes are on 1. If I go into the train itself, up to the seat here, the brakes are off. See, they're off, throttle 0, so the brakes are off. But outside, the brakes are on. And the reason for that is because the brakes on the front train are on. And you see the brakes are fully applied. So this back train will now do everything that this front train does. If I tell the front train to go, the back train will also go. If I tell the front train to stop, the back train will also stop. So it's completely synchronized between the two trains through that knuckle. So now we have double the pulling power. And you can add as many as you want. The front train has to stay in slave mode, or has to stay out of slave mode. It has to stay in master mode. But all the trains behind it can be switched over. You can see I can switch to the knuckle view. You can see the knuckle is connected nice straight along the line, and our train is following. So if I throttle up now, or if I bring our brakes down, I'll show you again. If I bring our brakes down to remember that number, 373334. 373334. So we'll go out here. Look at the front train brakes. 373334. Back set. 373334. Now, second train. 373334. And second train's rear brakes. 373334. That's how you can tell that the commands from the front are actually going through the back, because they're all identical. Everything's identical. And these trains don't have to be stacked up front to back, or like, these trains don't have to be stacked up just like they are in a row, like one engine, 2 engines, 3 engines. You can have the other engine at the very back of the train if you want. As long as you're passing the composite signal through, which all of my train creations do, the fire tanker, the cargo hauler, even the medical car, they all pass the composite signal through, even if they don't use it. The front is connected to the back, and then the back's connected to the front. So you can have one of these engines anywhere along the train, as long as you're using. As long as you're using my trains with the J knuckles, because they're all interconnected. They're all designed to run together. So I'm gonna up this sucker to full throttle. We still got the brakes on. I'm gonna up this sucker to full throttle, and let's see how fast 2 engines can go. We're already moving a damn good clip here. So how fast are 2 engines going? 58. We're both running full out. Both of these engines are running full out. They're both providing power. And you can see electric. You can see where it says electric. It's staying at 1, which means we're generating enough power for this train to stay running and stay operating. I never thought to toggle the track switches there. But whatever. We're moving. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put a light in here. The one thing that I forgot to do was put a light in here. There is no cab light. There's an exterior light. There are exterior cab lights. Man, we're bouncing on this corner. But we are moving. We're trucking along. So there you have it. This guy is also available on the workshop. The other ones are available on the workshop as well. And that's what I've been doing with my time. I've been giving some love to trains. I've been giving loving to trains. So I hope you enjoyed this little view at the train cars that I've been building. I do intend to do more. I just have to decide what more I can do. I have been working on some pretty interesting things as far as trains go. We're going to take her back to the workshop. I have been working on some pretty interesting things as far as trains go. I haven't gotten everything done yet. That one's still rolling. That one's still rolling. I haven't gotten everything done yet as far as like I said, the trains go. But there are quite a few things I've been working on. I don't know if I did a video on my fracking train car yet. That is something that I worked on not too long ago. That was this guy. This is a mobile fracking tower. I do not know if I showcased this guy or not. This one is not on the workshop because I have not completed work on it. As you can see, the brakes. I don't even think I have the brakes. No, I don't. I don't have the brake release on it. Yeah. I haven't added the brake release to it yet. That's usually the last thing I do is add the brake release. So the fact that I haven't added the brake release means I'm not quite done it yet. Because the brake release is when I move from building to testing, that's when I put the brake release on, because as you can see, this is a pain in the ass to push it out. There is a way to do it that involves adding. I have to add a little thing. I have to add one of these guys. So basically, what I do is I go selection grid, copy that, bring it out, spin it around, and then I paste it right there. And then what happens is when it spawns in, they connect. So sometimes. Oh, that's not even turned on. Dang it. Come on, you. Get connected. There they go. So, with that connected, the brakes are now off. That's kind of how you fool it before you actually install the brake release. So you just push it out. Now once it's far enough out, you just turn off the front connector and it'll come to a stop. The brake will reapply. Yeah, that's good enough. There you go. Brakes reapplied. Alright. So this is mobile fracking tower that I've been working on. It's got the hoses there. It's got a fluid hose anchor for input or output, I should say. This is the output for gas. This is the output for or this is diesel, I should say. This is jet fuel. This is the oil input. So you hook up oil in, and you get out jet fuel and um, diesel fuel. So the tower itself has to be vertical, of course. So what happens is we go like this, and the tower will enter its vertical stage. And it'll lock itself into a vertical position. And then once it's locked vertical, it can actually start fracking. So then you turn on your oil pumps to suck in oil, whatever, and then it'll just start making it. And then you have the two offloading pumps. So it'll heat up the oil, it'll pump it through the tower, and then it'll start to fill storage tanks. There's a little storage tank on either side. Very little storage tank. So this whole sidebar here is a storage tank, but as you can see, it's very thin. so there's a storage tank on this side for the regular diesel fuel, and there's a storage tank on the other side. Why didn't I make a way to climb up onto this damn thing? There's a storage tank on this side, as you can see, for the jet fuel. So jet fuel storage on this side, diesel fuel storage on the other side. You can see the lines, you can see the connectors that come down, and the pump systems, and all that. And there's solar panels back there to try to keep a charge going. But this just burns through power. You can see the power, the electric going down. It burns through power, so it's not meant to really be self-sustaining. It's meant to have an engine hooked up to it that's providing power. But anyways, that's the portable fracking tower. It does work. It's very, very slow. Does not provide a hell of a lot of fuel at a very fast speed. It is rather, like I said, it's rather slow, actually fracking the fuel. But it does do the job. It does work. So there you go. This was, like I said, this one's not on the workshop because I'm still working things out on it. But it's semi-functional. Along with that, I have a few other things that I'm working on. One was this guy. This is a Bertha cannon, as you can tell. It's another thing that I've been working on. I've been trying to work on an automated targeting system. Hasn't been going well. Because I've been trying to make a targeting system that'll work for every weapon type, all in one controller. So everything from machine gun to heavy cannon to auto cannons to rotary cannon to like the chain gun type, to this Bertha cannon. I'm trying to put it all of them into one universal turret controller, and it is very, very complicated. It is extremely complicated. Um, and I'm running into roadblocks here and there. I have all the muzzle velocities. I have lead target forwarding. I have a sweep, an initial sweep, so it can discover the speed settings for the speed and gear settings for the pivots. So it'll do a quick left-right sweep, as well as a quick up-down sweep to determine how fast it can move. And then it'll make calculations based off of that. It has like offset calculations for where you position the radar, offset calculations for where you position the barrel in relation to the axial pivot, or the pivot down here. So your rotational pivot down here, which is your come on, word. I've said it so many times the past few days I don't remember the word now. Azimuth. So your azimuth pivot's down here. Your elevation pivot is here. So your azimuth, it'll cycle the azimuth pivot to find out how fast it can go left and right. It'll cycle the elevation pivot to find out how fast it can aim up and down, and then it'll do calculations off of that to do like lead following and how long it takes to aim at a target, and its reloading process, returning to zero to reload. All that kind of stuff is based off of that calculation. So yeah, it's quite a complex system, and in all honesty, it's going to take me quite a while to get it sorted out, because it's just like one bug after another after another. It's like, oh, this, I fixed this, but it caused this, and then I fixed that, but it caused this, and it won't all fit in one LUA controller, so I have to split it up upon, across 3 different LUA controllers, which is even worse, because I have one controller handling targeting and firing, I have one controller handling the reload process, I have one controller handling the display output, because like I said, I can't put them all in one controller. The program is too complex and too large for one controller, or I should say one LUA plugin. So I have all of this input being processed through 3 LUA controllers, and then that's sending out, the azimuth, elevation, fire control, and a few other things, and just the math itself. The math itself is absolutely brain racking. Absolutely brain racking. Makes my head hurt. So, yeah, it is one of those things. There we go. Now she's starting to elevate. There we go. We're getting it. We're getting the barrel going up. Aha, yeah. All right, let's rotato. Okay, we need our laser guidance system. We need our laser guidance system activated so we can point out where we're aiming at. Bring her down a bit. She's a little too high. I'm gonna see if I can erase that building. Oh, I was there. Oh, I was there. Oh, oh, there we go. Oh, she's not loaded. Get her loaded. She sounds like a beast while she's loaded. Oh, oh, that's. Can't see it loading, but it should be loaded now. I think I aimed a little too high on that building, by the way. Bring it down. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, there's a bingo. Why are you not firing? I have no ammo. Oh, there's no ammo. I didn't put any ammo in this thing. Oh. I put no ammo in that thing at all. No wonder it's not loading. Ah, shit. Oh, you're gonna get away with it this time. Anyway. So that's the Bertha cannon that I was trying to. I put it on the rails just to see if if it was plausible to fire at something from the rails. So that was that. I did try with another I did try with another setup. Where the hell is that? This here. This was attempted to be an autocannon on the rails. This is when I started working on my automated system to see if I could get something that would lock on and fire and target and all that good stuff. So I made this little tank to try and get a system that would auto fire on targets. Unfortunately, this does not work, which is, like I said, why it's not on the workshop. It does have a forward drive. And it does have brakes, so I can apply brakes. I can remove the brakes, and it has an activate turret button. I can activate the turret. It doesn't actually do anything though, because right now it's kind of dumb. It can't really. Right now it should be targeting me and firing at me, but it's, like I said, it's dumb. It doesn't have the automated system yet to work. But I am working on it. I am working on trying to get it working. While I've been working on that, I've also done kind of a little hacked version of it, kind of. Which I think is this guy. Yeah. I did a little hacked manned version of it. So this is kind of same thing, except this one's manually controlled. You have the little bike saddle seat here. You got your throttle, you got a brake. And you can control the turret from here as well. So yeah, it's basically a mobile defense platform. The brake controls are cycled through your WASD. So you can see a WASD, a W and S goes up and down, and A and D does brake, on and off. So you can control everything there, and then your this is up, down, left, and right, or your turret controls. Space gets your firing going. 1 is your reverse gear. 2 is aiming lasers. You can turn those on. You can help you with, shooting that shit. And then 3 is the toggle for the switches. You press 3 and you can toggle the switches. But yeah, let's make that house go by this time. Oh, I'm out of ammo already. I normally set her to infinite ammo when I'm using this guy, but because it's more fun that way. But yeah, you got 100 rounds in each barrel. Once that's done, it's done. But anyways, that's I built this guy for shits and giggles too. It uses the old glitch engine, which I'm trying not to use anymore. But this was, like I said, this was built for shits and giggles, so I put that on there. It is not on the workshop, by the way, because it's a glitch machine, and because I was just screwed around with it. So that's about it for the train showcase. I do have a flat deck which I'm considering putting on the workshop. This is basically a starting platform for other builds. I built this for that reason. So if I wanted to make a train, or if I wanted to, make a train car of some kind, this has already got the back, it's already got the front, they're already at the proper height, and they're all set to go. All I really have to do is, selection grid, grab this, extend it out or bring it in, and that, then I can make a new car on it, make a new train car on it. So you'll see this design in a lot of my a lot of the cars I showed you already. For example, the frac. You can see that design. Front knuckle, back knuckle. It's got that design. Same with the fire one that I showed. You'll see it has the same thing. That same black front, black back design. You know. So that's basically my base now. This one kind of has the same thing, except I did a lot of modifications to it because you know, its shape is much wider, it's much bigger. But I did use the same starting point, which, you know, the two knuckles and whatever. I did use the same starting point. I just expanded it out, and then I had to change a whole pile of stuff. But I am using that same car, that same starting car, this one here, for basically all my train cars now, because like I said, it has the knuckles at the proper height. All the knuckle kind of logic, or whatever you want to call it, is in here. You can see there's right there, and then at the front there's right here and here. These are all for the knuckle control. And when I go to, let's see if I go to the composite, it is not connected, which it should be connected. Composite should automatically be connected front and back. That's weird. I'll fix that right now though, because that's how the signal passes through the train car. So I will fix that now, and then just resave it. So it's ready to go anytime I need another train car. There it is. All right. So that's basically how the system works. It's basically how I set it up, and then I just go from here and build the train cars around this starting design. So that's, I'm not putting this on the workshop though, because that's, you know, that's kind of for me to build train cars for my train system. I think that's it for the showcase today. I also have this guy, which I have not workshopped. I'm considering workshopping it, but because it uses the glitch engine in the cargo loader, I don't know if I will. Like I said, I'm trying to get away from the glitch engine, from using it. But really, this guy, I don't know if this guy would function as well or even properly without the glitch engine, using a diesel engine. There's no real room for a diesel gas tank, and there's no real room for a generator in it. So I don't know if I'll be able to switch this guy out. But this is my container mover. I have used it in several videos, although I don't know if those videos ever made it to online. I don't know if I ever uploaded those videos. So I do know that I did several videos, in which case I used this. But like I said, I don't know if those videos ever made it to the upload status. Some of my videos I make, and then it's kind of like they sit on my computer, and then eventually I just go, that wasn't that wasn't really the quality that I would normally aspire for in my videos. But anyway, so you can see here I have basically a nice clean dash, and it is connected at the rear. So what I first have to do is undock, which is my docking magnets, and then I have to work my way out of here. So I just turn, rotate out, and move out, like so. Now this guy is made to move containers around. It does that via a front fork system. So I need to unload my forks, or unfold my forks, I should say. So we do that. And I have to raise my forks as well. because it grabs containers from the top. So while I am unfolding my forks, I also need to raise them. So now what we're going to do is we'll swing around here, just rotato this way, and back up. Now this guy has a lot of ropes, and unfortunately all those ropes are necessary. They are to strengthen the pivots, because the pivots are very weak, especially when it comes to containers. Containers are a very heavy load, and without all the winches and without all the support ropes, it would be very, very difficult to actually perform any kind of lifting with these pivots. So we're above our target. We're going to turn our container magnets on. We're going to lower our forks. This is as fast as they go. I didn't want them to zippy around. I didn't want them to like zip all over the place. I wanted them to be nice and slow and manageable. There we go. And we'll lift our container up. You're gonna see how heavy this sucker is. It's gonna tilt forward. You can see it tilting forward. Now what I've built in here is I have built in some fork tilting. So if I press 2, you'll see the forks start to pull back because of those 2 winches on the back there. They'll start to pull it upwards. You can see it now lifting off the front, and it's tilting them up. Now the only problem with this is the tilt forks will sometimes get stuck because the pivot can, with the weight of the crate, the pivot can actually pivot too far, basically. So I have to be careful with the pivots, or with the tilts. Because you'll see here, I'll back up and then I'll start going forward, and you'll see that this thing will start to really lean into the front windshield, especially when I'm going forwards. And that's where the problem happens, because the arms can actually get stuck. They can actually glitch through the windshield. And if that happens, the whole machine is fucked. You can't use it anymore. So we'll just take our container over, and we'll place it back where we dragged it from. It is a nice system. It's got, see, even in my interior, I can't see where I'm going, but I do have a little camera down the front, so I can actually see past the container. Whoa! Whoa! We almost drove her off the edge. Alright. Reverse. Get away from that edge. Okay. And we will rotate. We're going to park it over there. Start getting a little bit of a forward movement here. We'll rotate it in. I'm just going to park it over where we got it from, over here. Kind of hard to tell where you are just from the front camera alone, so you kind of have to keep peeking to the sides. Front camera's got a little bit of a kind of a zoomed view to it. It's not quite completely accurate, so you don't want to just trust it. Alright, we'll put this down somewhere around here. This should be close enough. Drop it down. And turn our tilt forks off to untilt them. And once the container's on the ground, we will let it go and raise our arms back up. We'll back away a little bit and fold them up. And that is how we do that. So we put our container back, basically where we got it. And like I said, this guy's not on the workshop. The reason there's two reasons it's not on the workshop. It's not on the workshop. Reason number one, because it uses the glitch engine. That's the most important reason I haven't put it on the workshop, because I'm trying to get away from that. I know I have some glitch vehicles on there, but I'm trying not to add any more. Because I'm kind of past that time period. I want to start getting a little more professional with my builds. I shouldn't say professional. I should say because like my builds are nowhere near professional, but I'm trying to get less cheaterish with my builds. I want my builds to be a little more functional and a little less glitched. So we come back here, we turn our docking magnets on. Got our light here. And now we just bring it in. Line up our docking magnets. And they will actually pull us in to properly line up once they grab. So we're trying to get this back corner one to grab, because that's the first one that has to grab. And then it will kind of pull the other side in, because they magnet to each other. There it goes. There we go. So now we're locked in. And we can open our door, climb out, raise it back up, and she's ready to go. So that's my cargo vehicle, basically. My loader unloader. And like I said, I think I've shown this in a video before, but I didn't know if that video actually made it online, so I figured I'd showcase it here. But that's going to be it for basically my train builds. I think everything else has pretty much been covered, or is not relevant. I do have like the old cargo loader. I do have an old shunter car. My RC assist train engine. Another old container mover. Another old container mover. So as far as my new work goes, my stuff that's staying away from the whole glitch scene and staying relevant, kind of moving into the new phase of my builds. But actually, this guy, I don't think this guy does any glitching. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. I'm actually 100% sure this guy doesn't do any glitching. But it is kind of glitchy in its own way. Well, I shouldn't say glitchy. It's not really glitchy. It's buggy. it's buggy in its own way. It's not nearly as smooth as smoothly operational as my other builds are. Oh, and it doesn't have the brake release on it, and it has a fuel tank underneath for some reason. Crap. I have to do the unlatch. Oh, I actually think this is. I think this is an older design because this is much higher than the current design. So this is definitely an older design. But yeah, see how much this is one. This was one notch above that. So this is definitely an older design because it is much higher. It's much taller. But anyway, might as well showcase it anyways. Whatever. It's the old knuckle, but it's built, or it's the new knuckle, I should say, but it's built in the old style where it was way up in the air. There we go. Brake released. Push it out. This was I think this was my version 2 train car. I had 3 train car versions. And this, I believe, is version 2. Version 1 was a completely different build. It didn't have the stop sign appearance, it was just the bottom half. It just had the bottom 3. Didn't have the full round appearance to it. That was phase 1. Phase 2 was this design, but too high. It was up high. And then phase 3 was brought down to the proper height, and that's what I'm using right now is my phase 3 knuckle. So anyway, this guy here comes over, and you do have to sometimes. I thought you had to move the bed out of the way, but I guess you don't. So this guy comes over like that, and then now the problem is once I drop him, I don't. Can he be picked up again? Oh yeah, because the bar comes down. That's right. The bar comes down. You disconnect the magnets. You go do your thing. It does not have unlimited power. So and it skids all over the damn place. But basically, what you do is you come up and you bring. It's a container mover. Did I just jam that tire? I did just jam that tire. There we go. Jam the tire in through the concrete. Anyway, so this guy, you kind of back up to a crate, and I forget how you. I think you turn. I think you have to turn on the bottom locks of the container. I think, if I remember correctly, I think you have to turn these on. And then what you do is you lower the rear hydraulics. Okay. Bed magnets on. Okay. And then you extend the bed. You'll see the bed go back. This is actually a full container mover. It actually moves the container up onto itself, as you can tell. Kind of, it backs itself under the container. And then kind of scoops the container up. Just like that. So then, we're going to retract the bed. So you're going to see the container being pulled onto the car. And like I said, we got the ramp down. The back tires are down. The ramp's down. Ramp's extended. Well, it doesn't unextend, so the ramp is just there. But we're pulling the container onto the car. And then once we have the container on the car, we'll lift her up. And all this is done without the glitch motor. This is just running off the batteries that are there. A couple of little solar cells which are practically doing nothing. But it recharges from the vehicle. So, want our rear hydraulics up, you'll see the back end come off the ground, and we're good to go. We can drive this sucker wherever we want. Put it down wherever we want. Just as if we're like a transport or a box truck, you know. And then unloading is the same process. You just rear hydraulics down, extend the bed. Then once the container's off, you just let her go. I actually think I could turn the magnets off. I don't think I need the magnets on to push it off. No, I don't. Doesn't necessarily like to let go of those, so sometimes you got to swing it around. raise your rear hydraulics and go park it. Park the truck back over underneath your lifters. Now this was always tricky because you had to kind of bring it in at a weird angle, because your front posts have to clear your front arm. So you kind of have to bring it in like this and then swing it like that, just like that, kind of like that. Brakes. Put the magnets. Should go ka-ching. There it goes. Alright. Make sure everything's off. And bar up. And then load. There. And just like that, she's loaded and ready to go. So, I mean, this is another one. Like I said, this is the old style, where I had the knuckles way up. But I found with this style that having the knuckles so high means I couldn't build a train car that high. It took up a lot of space, having the knuckles so high. So my newer designs had the knuckle way down, much lower than that. So you didn't really have to, you didn't have to worry about it. Didn't have to worry about the knuckles. And I can show you that from here. I'll just spawn this guy in and roll him forward, and you'll see how far off the knuckles are. Holy lag. See how far old style versus new style. Or I should say my second level knuckles compared to my third level knuckles. There you go. They won't even connect. They're so far off from each other. They can't even connect. They're so far off from each other. But yeah, so that was my level 2 knuckles. This is my level 3 knuckle. And that's the one that I'm currently using as the level 3 or tier 3, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, but anyway, that just showcased some extra stuff for you. Call it a bonus. So anyway, take care, everybody. This is Jodian. As I said, a lot of these tier 3 ones are on the workshop now. The tier 2 and tier 1 stuff. I think tier 1 stuff might be on the workshop too. That was my black train set. It might be on the workshop from a long time ago, however, has not been updated in quite a while, so I don't even know if they still function properly. The tier 1 set looks like way down. Way down. Way down. So the tier 1 set is my black train set. This set here, which I thought I had them all together. Here they are. These set here where they had the water tanks, diesel tanks, jet fuel tanks. They have platform trailers. This guy was just a platform trailer plus a caboose. And then, of course, the train engine, which I just had passed a second ago. This guy here. So this was my tier 1. You can see the connector on it. It is also at a different height, and it is a different design. Does not function the same as the current connector. So this connector was basically just for holding it. It didn't really pass anything back and forth like power or anything like that. All the signals, if any signals needed transmitted, they were done via antenna. So, like I said, old train design, old system. This was an attempt at a diesel electric, which didn't function as a diesel electric. It basically only ran the generators when it needed battery power. Otherwise, it just shut off. The generators shut off. It did not run all the time. It only ran when I think the batteries got down to 50%. It would run for, I think, not even a minute to get them back up to 100%, and then it would shut off. So it wasn't really a true diesel electric. It was more of an electric train with a generator to it behind it. So that's why I say the new design is my first actual diesel electric, because the diesel engine runs all the time and generates power that's needed. So that's going to be it, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this video. I know I enjoyed showcasing all my trains, and like I said, most of them are on the workshop. Make sure when you're getting the train cars that they specifically say J knuckle, because those are the ones that all work together. They are guaranteed to work together. So take care, everybody. This is Jodian signing off. I will see you all next time. Bye bye now.